So, this is actually something I've been dealing with recently, and honestly, for the life of me, I can't find many people around me that I truly relate to when it comes to this feeling. So, I figured why not talk about it here? Maybe other people out there feel the same way, and maybe we can all understand it a little bit together. Also, this is my first ever public video on YouTube, which is honestly kind of terrifying to say out loud. But at the same time, I wanted to take the shot instead of constantly thinking about it. So seriously, feel free to let me know what you think about the video, the quality, the pacing. I'm completely open to criticism. I genuinely want to improve over time. But overall, I just wanted to welcome you guys to the channel and thank you for clicking on this video in the first place. It really means a lot. So, on to the subject at hand. You ever work towards something for so long that it almost becomes a part of who you are? Like every day you wake up thinking about it, every decision somehow connects back to it. You sacrifice time, energy, sleep, sometimes even relationships, just chasing this one thing because you genuinely believe, oh, once I get there, everything will be different or will feel different. And honestly, for a while I believed that too. I thought achievement was supposed to feel like arrival, like reaching some checkpoint in life where all the anxiety, doubt, and pressure finally disappear. But something I realized recently, sometimes after achieving something you always wanted to do, you kind of hit a dead end. Like you feel empty, and that feeling is so weird because nobody prepares you for it. Like, people prepare you for failure. They talk about struggling, they talk about grinding and staying motivated, but nobody really talks about what happens after. The moment when the excitement fades and you're sitting there wondering, like, why don't I feel the way I thought I would? And I think more people deal with this than they admit. I think part of the problem is that when you spend a long time chasing something, the pursuit itself becomes your identity. For me personally, I've noticed that when I'm fully focused on a goal, it almost gives structure to my life. Even if things are like stressful, even if I'm exhausted, there's still this feeling of purpose because I'm moving towards something. You wake up with direction, and there's something addictive about it. The late nights feel meaningful, the stress feels justified, even pain feels easier to tolerate because your brain keeps telling you, oh, it'll all be worth it eventually. And over time, you start imagining what life is going to feel like once you finally get there. You picture confidence, like peace, relief, maybe even happiness, but reality is a lot quieter than you imagine. Because when the moment finally comes, life doesn't suddenly become cinematic. There's no dramatic ending, no permanent feeling of accomplishment. A lot of the time it's just, oh, I did it. And then the next day comes and it's like a dead end. I don't know if you guys saw the meme of coming to bed, honey, but that's literally what it reminds me of. I think the emotional crash after success happens because your brain has been operating at such a high level of anticipation for so long. You spend months, sometimes years, mentally surviving off the idea of the future. The goal becomes fuel, and once it's achieved, your mind almost doesn't know what to do with itself anymore. It's like running at full speed towards a wall and suddenly stopping. All the adrenaline stops, all the obsession disappears, and then you're left alone with your thoughts again. I've had moments where I've achieved something I genuinely cared about, and instead of feeling fulfilled, I just felt mentally exhausted. Not because the achievement was meaningless, but because I expected it to fix something deeper inside of me. And I think that's what a lot of people do without realizing it. We attach emotional salvation to success. We think, once this happens, then I'll finally feel good enough. But external achievements can't permanently solve internal problems. That's a hard realization. And I think social media makes this feeling even worse. Because, like, everything online, success is always shown as the final answer. People post the highlight moment of their lives, but never the worst times. They only post the money, the accomplishment, the celebration, the big announcement. Nobody really shows the emptiness that can come afterward. Nobody uploads a video saying, "Oh, I got everything and I still feel lost." Because honestly, it feels a little ungrateful to say out loud. You almost feel guilty for feeling empty. Like, other people would love to be in my position, but why am I still unhappy? But emotions don't always work logically, and I think a lot of people secretly experience this exact feeling but never admit it because they're afraid it sounds negative or spoiled. When in reality, it's just human. I think one of the scariest parts about achieving something important is the question that comes afterward, the what now? Because when you're chasing a goal, your life has momentum, you always have something to focus on. But after you reach it, there's this strange silence that follows. And sometimes that silence forces you to confront parts of yourself you are distracting yourself from, like your fears, your loneliness, or your anxiety. Sometimes we stay obsessed with goals because it keeps us from sitting still long enough to think deeply about our lives. And when the chase ends, all those thoughts just come right in. That's why some people immediately jump into another goal right away, which is another achievement, another obsession, another distraction. Not because ambition is bad, but because slowing down can feel uncomfortable, especially when we live in such a fast paced time. One of the hardest things I've had to understand is that happiness isn't something you permanently unlock. There isn't one moment that fixes your entire life. And honestly, I used to hate hearing that because part of me wanted to believe there was some final destination where everything finally made sense. But life doesn't really work like that. Feelings come in waves. Even the best moments fade away eventually. That doesn't make them meaningless though. I think achievement still matters. Of course, growth matters, goals matter, building something matters. But maybe the problem happens when we expect achievement to replace self worth because no accomplishment lasts forever emotionally. Eventually, it becomes normal to you, like everyday life, and then your brain starts searching for meaning again. And I don't think feeling empty after success means you failed. And I don't think it means your achievement wasn't important. I think sometimes it just means you're human. Maybe the goal was never supposed to permanently fulfill you. Maybe it was supposed to teach you something instead about yourself or about what actually matters to you. And honestly, maybe real fulfillment comes less from arriving somewhere and more from continuing to grow as a person while you move through life. Not chasing perfection and not chasing some fantasy version of happiness. Just learning how to exist without needing every achievement to prove your worth. Because at the end of the day, you can achieve something great and still feel lost sometimes. And I think more people relate to that than they're willing to admit. So, that's a load off my mind. I hope you guys liked the video. If you do like the content such as this, please let me know in the comments down below and like and subscribe if you feel like it. Other than that, have a good night or day, and until next time.